Hey, I used to work in a strip club. That was a kind of a more recent gig, a more recent job that I've held down. And I used to just like do. I was really well prepared for my sets and to get on the mic and stuff. Like I would have all these one-liners and transitions kind of mapped out for the evening so that I could just kind of get into things right away, which is kind of how I discovered that I'm pretty good on a microphone, and then I can hold it down. I can hold down talking and selling shit to people. Like I would just have just pages of one-liners written, depending on the girl or the music that they would listen to. So I guess one might say that at one point in time, you could have said I was the hardest working man in hoe business. Ladies and gentlemen, this is The World According to Kyle podcast. How are you doing, everybody? It's been too long, my friends. I am back in action, coming at you fresh after this Mother's Day, and boy did I feel like an asshole since I'm away from I was away from my mother. I have a lot of work stuff, very busy going on, and so like I remembered to text for Mother's Day and call and talk, but there was I was at the store and early that day because I had to kind of re-up on some food, and so I'm over there at the grocery store noticing that everybody else knows that it's Mother's Day, and they are all buying fucking flowers. Like literally there's fucking like 50 people waiting to get checked out. All of them have fucking flowers because there's fresh flowers at the grocery store that I was at, and I'm sitting here at the checkout like an asshole with with a 6-pack of beer and some fucking some ready hot fucking chicken wings and pizza. So you can't always celebrate them all the same. Shout out to all the mothers out there, and I hope you had yourself a good one. Now, before we get into it, I want you all to know that you can get a hold of me and follow me on your various social media platforms. YouTube, Kyle Max. Twitter, Kyleverse. Instagram, Kyle Max 86. Facebook, Kyle Max. Reddit, TWA2K. If you have a question for the show, you can slide into my DMs and ask me something. But make sure it's good for the show. I don't need you asking me something like, hey, Kyle, why are you so awesome? I mean, yeah, I could answer, but I mean, it's kind of like we don't really need that. I don't really think that'll improve the quality of the show, and it may play too much into my ego that I already have. Hence the fact that I'm doing a podcast. Also, you can avoid questions like, hey Kyle, why am I so lame? It would simply take too long to explain. Guys, I'm all over the internet right now. If you want to catch a show, we will be doing video shortly, probably by the end of this year. But you can catch me on YouTube anyways and get a brand new spanking TWA2K picture thrown at you, a specialized photo which I will soon be selling to you for tens of thousands of dollars as an NFT once the market stops crapping its pants. You can also find me for your ears on all your various podcast platforms: Apple Pod, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, CastBox, Deezer Podcasts, Addict Podchaser, and GeoSavant. What the fuck is up? As I was saying, happy Mother's Day out to all the women. I hope you had a good one. All the great women in the world, you know who you are. And the evil ones out there who are pretending that you're great and worthy of celebrating, well, fuck you. Yeah, like the ones who are comfortable having the government all up in your uterus. Now, before we get into all that, I want to give a shout out here to, and now normally I don't kind of talk about, like, you see me or you hear me all the time, you know, mad criticism or just kind of like giving my real thoughts on what I think about something, if something's overrated or underrated, etc. You will not hear me talk much about women. I generally think that women should criticize women and men should criticize men. And while I think it's okay to I think it's okay for a woman to like male artists or for a man to like female artists. Generally speaking, I think that women are trying to speak to women, men are trying to speak to men, etc. There's a lot of gray area in there, but I mean, as a rule of thumb, I do not like to get super critical on women and like say this artist is good, this artist is bad, whatever, because like I think it's more women's responsibility to criticize other women or think that they are doing a good job and state that we both as genders have different roles and different things that we look for, which are often contradicting. But as a dude, I do think it is important to have female voices and not to always be stuck inside of just a stereotype or echo chamber or type of personality. It's important to have female voices, or females that you respect. Otherwise, it's kind of like it's a little sexist. I mean, if somebody is only listens to like dudes rapping hip hop, it's just like they're more into it for a personality. Because they see it in themselves, or they want to be this personality, so that's why they listen to it. But I don't listen to music like that. I listen to music as a I don't have archetypes or genres that I like to fit into. So every once in a while I don't listen to a lot of women because I find men speak to me more, but I do like some female artists who I think are really dope, and not just artists like news anchors or something. Like a couple of my favorite artists who like I'd always go to see are Terry Genderbender from Les Butcherettes. Like, she is like probably one of the best female writers of music, and she can also play guitar and play the keyboard. Like, she's really tremendous with her with the way she gives life to a song with her words. Like, has a lot of really good, and she's probably really feminist, which I am not, but I mean, her the way she writes and is like kind of like a way, like I can reflect on how I am as a man by listening to her, and it kind of is powerful and hard hitting, and despite the fact that it's music that's made by a woman, I can listen to it and say, hey, that's great job, writing, or a great job strumming that riff. Another great female artist that I listen to a lot is MIA. Now, she doesn't make beats, I don't think, or anything, but like with hip hop, it's more about the who's rhyming, and she just gives so much life to the songs that she has. And I think I really dig the fucking Brit-hop, the London slang, the UK flow, and she's just like top notch out of the UK. As a rapper, like I got over 20 songs of hers that I listen to, and for me to really dig that much music, or listen to that much music from you on a consistent basis is pretty good. I do not have much artist that I listen to, but the ones that I do listen to, I listen to a lot of their shit. Another shout out to the politician from Michigan, I think she's a congresswoman, Mallory McMurrow, who, she is a Christian, but she's also pro-LGBT, and one of her Republican counterparts was attacking her and calling her a groomer because she doesn't hate gay people. I guess that's enough to make you a groomer nowadays, in a red state anyways, or through the frame of view of a Republican. And she just went to fucking town on this person and just absolutely destroyed her for trying to call out her faith and stuff. And she says she considers herself a Christian, but she was taught real Christian values, which don't include discriminating against somebody, or trying to take rights away from trans people, and stuff. You have to just listen to it. Just type in Mallory McMurrow, and that is what I feel is good, strong female leadership that really goes a long way. Another good example is Anna Kasparian from TYT, the news host. And I don't know what your political views are. I don't have any, so I just follow people who I feel are worth following and worth listening to. She's definitely one of them, and she absolutely went to town on the weak democratic effort on all of these things happening now. This going back 50 years and overturning Roe v. Wade, and she's right. The Democrats have people keep saying, oh yeah, Biden's approval rating. The reason Biden's approval rating has fallen off the fucking map is because he capitulated too much to the right, and that America, by and large, is not very, but it's more left of center than it is right. And they wanted to see these changes. They wanted to see more done than just lip service and kowtowing to the Republican right after this last election. And honestly, that's why a lot of the left has absolutely had it. And I think that like her more recent clips, she's a host on the Young Turks, by the way, the Young Turks broadcast news broadcast network, and I thought her point really hit the nail on the head, and that like the weak Democratic leadership has absolutely made this happen, and the fact that they fight for nothing, and they don't and they just they want to keep and they don't do anything for for the left. They do like just minimal amounts for the left, and expect to just get a pass, even though America keeps moving and voting left of center. So shout out to her too. Shout out to all the great women in everybody's life. I've had some great ones, and like some great female leaders that I've seen. Some not so great ones also. Like I would think like some of the ones think like being a bitch is something like you can write down in your qualifications on your resume. But there are other ones that I think are just excellent leaders that I've had, and a large part of one of the positions that I'm in my work life has been because a strong, good woman leader saw what I brought to the table, and banged the table for me to get in a position of as a team lead. So shout out to all the women out there. I hope your dudes are treating you well. I hope you were having a terrific Mother's Day. Hope you had a great Mother's Day. And yes, moving right along. Now, there's no easy transition to this because it's something that has just fucked women in America. The overturning of Roe versus Wade, which basically made it constitutional right for women to be able to get abortions, and based on a trimester system. Now, nobody this wasn't a contentious subject recently. I am surprised. It's been around for 50 years, and the recent polling before the announcement of the leak that it was going to get overturned was that it was performing 70 to 75% of people agreed on that Roe v. Wade was fine as it is, that women should have the right to be able to have an abortion. So my question is, if 70 to 75% of people agree on this, agree on something, why can it be overturned on a whim? Because of the arrangement of your Supreme Court. That seems very dumb. That seems very bad for democracy. If something is polling at 70 to 75%, how can you just overturn that based on a few Supreme Court nominations? It seems really, really dumb and overreaching, something that was totally unwarranted, and it's honestly a little scary. Families are things that are supposed to be planned. They're not supposed to be things that are dealt with. Families should always be planned. That's why it's called family planning, because a family is not some accident you have because a douchebag knocks you up while you were blackout drunk. That's not That's not what family planning is. Families are things that you are supposed to prepare for, that two consenting adults get into, and and decide to sacrifice their life to try and do what's best for the children that they are having. It shouldn't be something that's just forced upon someone who's in a bad situation. It's just so crazy. Like, this is the last thing I would have Roe versus Wade is getting overturned. What the fuck was wrong with it? The fuck was wrong with it? And it was working fine. It was like everything was fine with it. Even the right-wing sycophant fucks were not all up in arms about the abortion issue. Like, you see a couple of them playing up the extremes, but by and large, it wasn't something people really argued with. Like, really ridiculous. And so I posted a meme the other day. I'm just like, what the red states will be like after 5 years of Roe versus Wade getting overturned. And then I posted a picture of Sausage Party, the movie poster, because that's what will happen, okay? And I think this just goes and plays into the importance of where you live, of loving where you live. Right now, I'm in the position in life where I love where I live. I, moved to the Toronto area about 10 years ago, and I've been kind of like a bouncing around the place all the time type of guy before, and I've never really found my home. And everywhere I haven't lasted as long as I have lasted here. I've never had good credit before. Now I have good credit. I've never felt a sense of belonging before. Now I feel a sense of belonging, and it's because I'm around like-minded people. I'm in a good spot in life, and this is a place where I know I love living, so I will not move. And I think a lot of people don't take that into consideration, and I think that and now sometimes it's a disposition where you cannot move, or you're getting you have a strong family connection somewhere, and they do enough for you where you're not incentivized to move. So that's more of a disposition. But I'm here to tell you that do not, if you do not like where you live, move. If you do not like the environment that you're around, if you do not agree with the environment that you're around, then get out. Don't get into debt. Don't settle down until you're in a comfortable environment, an environment that you like, an environment that you want to be around. And that was a crux behind why I posted that Sausage Party meme. Maybe eventually, after if the hardcore red states become really hardcore on abortion, maybe eventually they'll also be the most gay states because of all the dudes there. But Toronto people are like me, and I am like them. I see myself in them, and I hope they see themselves in me. And it's been kind of, great to finally have found a place and a people that that I like being a part of. I've never really felt like a sense of we before, or a sense of like loving my city. Now, like, I feel like, fucking Anthony Kiedis in the Under the Bridge song by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I fucking feel that shit now, and I feel that shit living here, and it is because I love where I live, and I see people like me around, and I do believe that cannot be overstated. Instead of trying to fight your environment all the time, or being a contrarian in the place that you live, it is much easier, and it is much better to live in a place where there are more like-minded people. You will have a much better time, trust me. And the same goes for hardcore Republicans or hardcore right wingers living in more, say California or some shit. I mean, you're you're just stacking the deck against you unnecessarily. And if that's how you feel, then you should be around like-minded people, because that's how it should work. You should be in an environment that you find you relate to. So we'll see what happens, but even a lot of the right wingers now are not like super banging the table about this Roe v. Wade thing. I mean, you're seeing a lot of crap out there. Steven Crowder saying ugly women aren't the ones who are getting raped, and yet they're the ones who are calling for abortions or something. I don't get it. They're all ugly women are the ones who are clamoring for abortions. Just really sick shit. And what I think this is it's promoting hate content. And I mean, I wouldn't have a problem if you presented it as a comedy or a personality, or you're portraying a character. I mean, like Dice Clay or something. But the thing here is that and Crowder was just one example. That was just one comment of a sea of like hate and misogyny. There's been multiple other people, who just because they know it's getting overturned, they feel like they have the ability to throw stones now. But Crowder's just one of them, having this hate content that is presenting itself as truth or news. And that's a large part of like the misinformation campaigns that we're seeing, and the stupefying of the collective intellectual atmosphere that we find ourselves inside of right now, because there's just more stupidity now than ever, which is crazy to think of, considering the internet is the dawn of the information age, and you have the ability to be able to learn everything and anything that you want. But it also presents people with the ability to distort the truth and present it to dumb people as if it was facts. So cheers to the internet age, and it having the ability to really subvert my expectations. Because if you would have asked me like 15 years ago, I would have thought like we would have such a smart society right now, and it's kind of going in the exact opposite direction, where people are just spewing lies, distorting facts, distorting their reality. And these people wouldn't bother me so much, like the Crowders of the world wouldn't bother me so much if there weren't people who are influenced by them, shaping, having their views of reality shaped over, like, goofy and poorly thought out ideas and nitpicking, nitpicking points that agree with you, small sample sizes, non-peer reviewed studies, etc., etc. And I know Elon shared that one stick figure meme about how the left is the one that has moved far away. But I mean, even Jordan Peterson was interviewing an Islamic fundamentalist, and the Islamic fundamentalist, after hearing Jordan Peterson's views on marriage and relationships and how how he thinks like guys and women should basically be forced together, and so this Muslim was like, hey, yeah, I paid attention to your views and we got a lot in common. So is it truly the right or the left that has ran further away from the center, or is it the right? I don't know. There's the Y'all Qaeda meme hashtag floating around, and after the overturning of Roe versus Wade, the Don't Say Gay bill in Florida, the anti-trans narratives coming out the right, not giving a fuck about a global pandemic. I mean, what's next? Dress codes for women? Are you going to come out with the measuring stick and make sure her skirt isn't too short, or what? Like, what's the next move? But we're the left are the extremists, and where do I consider myself politically right now? I'm probably center right if you had to plot it on a map. My ideas and my ideology, if you quantitatively try to figure out some sort of where I lay on the map, it would probably be center right. But I mean, here's the thing. Here's the deal. And I understand why Elon thinks the way he thinks. Okay, but here's the deal: is that the right always seems like it's in the same position because they never want anything to change. The left, the right is adverse to change. They just want things to stay the same. That you have an idea and you say, hey, I got a plan for this. And it's like, no, we don't want to do it. Let's stay exactly as we are right now. So, I mean, the left has to, move things. The left has to go. The left has to be progressing. The right shouldn't be regressive. It should just not it should not be regressive. It should be just kind of accepting of change when the numbers are just super overwhelming. So it does seem like the right is always capitulating, but that's because they're never in favor of change. And we've seen it with the pandemic, how eventually there was just not enough people who are just like, yes, the death rates warrant this this invasion of privacy and our lives being changed and legislated on, and eventually you can't fight a large enough number of the population that do or don't want to take something seriously. And that was one of the first times the right has been trying to change, or trying to present a change that we should make in our current frame of mind. Now, that was an unconventional situation where the right had to be the ones progressing or presenting the change that the left eventually capitulated to. All right, now mostly it's not like that, but I think yeah, that is a fundamental misframing of the situation. But I think, like, I kind of understand where Elon is coming from. Like, I mean, I lost a lot of like, I used to be pretty left wing with my ideas. But I've scaled back since, and a lot of the culture war shit that the left was doing, none of it was like this ridiculous. That the none of it was like at the culture war. But I mean, so here's the thing: is that we have to find some common ground there where we need to where we need to just be able to collectively get along. And I think, like, the left, where they really lost me was this, framing of any white person as a Nazi. This constant calling of racism of, like, any white guy who fires any person of color, while the same thing could happen in the reverse. And I understand there are different dynamics to the situation, but we're never going to get to a place of understanding if we're not going to be able to accept reality for what it is and just do things based on fairness. And I think that's what we should be striving for, is a meritocracy where if somebody, despite their skin color is more qualified for a position, then they should get it. Or if they are a black person shouldn't have to put out, like, 10 times more resumes as a white person to get a call back. Like, shit like that. But it's social, and we're not doing a good enough job at saying, hey, this is the right way to do things, because kind of all of our systems are corrupt. And most of our systems have some form of corruption in them, and there's very little you can point to that you're just like, this is an authentic meritocracy where people are really striving for fairness. It's a lot easier to point out the the negatives of something and slap a label on it, but it's harder to show what is genuine and authentic, doing something on merit, because the left will just hire people based on trying to fill out demographics on, like, a checkboard, instead of who might be actually better suited for the job. So that shit has kind of threw me away from the left. And you're not gonna get my vote if you want to just like have this constant victim narrative and not do things based on merit, but do things based on trying to check demographic boxes. That's not the way either. So there has to be some sort of common ground. And now the right has just gone too fucking stupid with what they are doing, that I'm just so. I think it changed on the January 6 riots, where I'm just like, I want nothing to do with that. Absolutely fucking nothing to do with that. Now, I think the Trump panic up until that point was panic, and it was a little too much, and where Trump couldn't fucking take a shit but without the left calling him racist, or like, you need to be a little, like, that kind of shit, like, to just like constantly shit on whoever is the leader of your country does more to destabilize your own country than you think. And it just shows that the left was so out of control was so out of control that they felt like they could just cancel everything. And you know what? I'm glad that Elon bought Twitter, and I might be a little more left to the center, but I like that Elon bought Twitter, and I think if you believe in free speech and if you like freedom, that you should like that. These leftists who are in favor of like everything that they don't like to hear getting canceled, like that is not authentic liberalism or leftism, and they have chased away all of their allies. You think all these guys who used to support you, and you chase them away by like just being too extreme and calling everything fucking racist. And the thing is, you have to strive for fairness. Like what that is, what Twitter turned into was not fairness. It was ideological kowtowing. It was kowtowing to a specific ideology. And how you should do it is you should never ban anybody unless that is specifically gone over by a person who is seeing the tweet and seeing the context of the tweet and what is happening, who posted before that, what are you replying to. You can't just have a computer algorithm banning somebody because they said something. That's just not cool. That's like that. I mean, that's that's so not what the internet is about. And the left is so far gone that they actually celebrated this shit. You should want this crap out there, because then you can point to it and say, hey, this is what's wrong with the world. What do you want to live in a fucking bubble where everybody just has to believe what you want to believe in? And if they disagree, or if they say certain words, this is ruining the internet, guys. Like, we really need to be less fucking sensitive. Like, I mean, I rarely ban and block people. I think I blocked like one person for because it was just constant COVID misinformation and constant cheerleading about not adhering to or not following the government and shit like that. And I mean, COVID was something that was worth taking serious for the time. I don't think it's something we should sacrifice all of our lives for. But I mean, to be able to get ahead of it the way we did and to sacrifice a year or two to get a head start on this shit, I think it was worth it. Now, 10 years living like a hermit is something fucking completely different. But a lot of people died, man. A lot, and if you have ever seen the videos of these people dying in the hospital, it's not great. It does not look cool, okay? But the left shitting on Elon it's one of those things where I don't think they know what they're doing. They're just looking at where does Elon map on the political spectrum right now. Who do you think would be better owning Twitter? What better option would there be? A bunch of corporate fucking board members who don't own any stock in it? Do you know that all of Twitter's board members combined, aside from Elon and Jack Dorsey, they only owned less than 2% stock in Twitter? So you have people who do not have a vested interest in Twitter, saying what the fuck is going to happen with Twitter, and just appeasing to whoever's paying them off, likely major corporations and shit. Now, Elon, I think, will be good, and he will manage it well. And what has Elon managed before that shows you he's gonna not do such a great job? I mean, he's well qualified well qualified, and I think he is probably, if you look at the alternatives, like, name me somebody who would be better, who would run it effectively, who would make money, and who cares enough about the product to make sure it is operating in the best interest of the people. Because Elon uses Twitter. He loves Twitter, and he might play it off like, oh, ha ha ha, this is something that I do on my shit break. Well, apparently, this man takes his shit breaks very seriously, because he just spent fucking $46 billion on it. And he brings up some good points about how to change Twitter for the better. Now, one of the points he brought up is that and this is more of a culture, not something he can do directly, but it's more of like this is like Elon showing how our perspective is stupid, and the things we follow are stupid. Now, he pointed out, he posted this thing where he showed the top 10 most followed people on Twitter. And so it's just like a list of Justin Bieber and Taylor Swift and, popular people. But they showed in contrast to their followers how much they post on a yearly basis, and it's nothing. So they don't really take Twitter seriously. So what I think he's getting at here is that a large amount of people are following people on Twitter who don't fucking post anything, and they have the most followers they have of anybody. More followers than Elon. Like, I follow people that tweet a lot, and if somebody doesn't tweet a lot, or if they only tweet when their albums are releasing, then why the fuck are you following them? Follow people who are gonna give you news and information, and hopefully you're not following people who are giving you flat Earth information, because that's misinformation or shit like that. It's just one of those examples where it shows our neurotic tendencies, and that we are, that other people are doing things that are kind of counterintuitive or counterproductive to how to utilize this tool properly. And I was a victim of this before too. I didn't know how the fuck to use Twitter at first. I did the same thing. I just followed some people who, some artists that I liked, but they're too busy making good music, so they so they don't post much, and just like, what is the point of this Twitter? And then, you go on it for a while, and then, oh, hey, this person posts some interesting stuff. Oh, hey, and they're posting it a lot, and you follow them, and then you get, where they're getting their information from, or what they see people posting, and eventually you just kind of accumulate a good pool of people who are, always contributing on Twitter and giving good information, and you stop following all these celebrities who are only posting when their album comes out. Now, I came up with a list of 5 things that I think are likely that Elon would do, and are good moves for Twitter if he does do them. Well, let me see if I can remember most of them. Now, the first one is that unlimited characters. Okay, obvious. Threading is one of the dumbest inventions to Twitter. The next one, the next, and I don't even need to explain anymore. You can still have like a box as a tweet, and if you want to say, if you are intrigued by it, it can still be 280 characters or whatever. But if you're intrigued by it, you can read more, and it can be a full tweet instead of someone having to post 30 tweets for one thing that they wrote. Absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so there's the unlimited characters. Second thing, an edit button. Great, perfect. I mean, you need that. You can't just fire off something and then a million people like it, and then all of a sudden, oh shit, one letter is fucking wrong, and they're liking it because I'm getting spell check shamed by someone who ratioed me. So that's the second thing that they should do. So okay, so we got characters, we got the edit button. Also, the third thing they should do is the blue checkmark system. The blue checkmark system is fucking no good. It's just kind of on a whim. There's no real data or structure behind it. All a blue checkmark should be is this person real? Do we know this person is real? They tweet a lot and this is their actual authentic self. Blue checkmark. Is really not that complicated. It's not as complicated whereas Twitter had made it in the past, where before I felt like Twitter operated very elitistly, and blue check marks were given to people who said the right things and didn't step on stones, shit like that. That is the third thing that I would do with Twitter. The fourth thing is KYC. Know your customer. And this would get rid of bots if we... I love the idea of no KYC for crypto. I do not like the idea of no KYC for social media. Because social media is people pretending to be people. It's not... I don't think it should be for, have a million different accounts and to not be an authentic person. And this way, you can hold people responsible for the shit they are saying. The reason that there's so much extremism online is because people, like Tyson said, are not afraid of getting punched in the fucking face for the shit that they say on Twitter, and they hide behind anonymity in order to do so. Now, maybe some internet sites and maybe some social media would be better off with the anonymity, but I don't think it's good for Twitter. I don't think it's good for Facebook. Like, these bots are just getting fucking stupid carried away, and literally everything is turning into a fucking scam because people are portraying themselves as somebody or something they are not all the fucking time. I'm not getting clapped by it because, I have the intellectual fortitude to not, but I mean that doesn't mean that I will always have that, or that an older person is guilty for getting taken advantage of by somebody who's presenting themselves as someone they're not. That shit needs to stop. And the fifth thing is the fifth change for Twitter that I think Elon is likely to do, and that he should do in order for the betterment of Twitter, is eliminating the shadow bans and the robo bans, the robot bans that are just algorithmically selecting a word or a phrase and banning it, banning it without question. Here's my thing. Here's my real thing. If it's that important, you should have a division, division to tackle the problem. If these things are that important, we should have people. We cannot have algorithms in computers deciding what is right and wrong to say. We can have it get flagged. We can have it get flagged by hey, say an algorithm say no. We seen someone posted Nazi. Check it out, and then so a real person checks it out and gets a context of the situation, and after the context of the situation is able to make an assessment on whether or not this person should be banned. Are they promoting hate speech, committing slander or defamation, etc. Yelling fire in a crowded theater, or calling the Sandy Hook people crisis actors. Just off the top of my head, so shit like that. Yeah. But have actual people look into it. Okay, do not have bots just banning people based off certain words, and I think Twitter is better off in the long run for this. I was very bearish on Twitter before. I just think so much of how Twitter used to operate was elitist and a little stupid, and now I actually got some hope for it because it's in the hands of somebody who frequently uses it, who is and people look at Elon Musk. I don't think Republicans or Democrats or right or left really understand Elon Musk, because all these leftists complaining, Elon Musk is fucking, he's pro-UBI, he's pro-universal basic income, and wants to use your tax dollars to help humanity become a fucking interplanetary species. I mean, how much more left does that get? And considering the state of Earth right now and the direction that is going, I would say that's necessary. That maybe if he, hopefully he fucking succeeds in his ambitions, because if he doesn't and we're stuck here, I don't know. It's not looking too good. I don't know how many more centuries we got left in us, if that long, at the current fucking rate of acceleration towards catastrophe. So that's my thoughts on the Elon situation on Twitter. Elon just can't seem to really make anybody happy. And can I say real quick before I get into the next phase of the show, I'm gonna tell a story to cap off the show. Can I just say, the Met Gala is honestly repulsive at this point. A bunch of fucking liberal do-gooders, smelling their own fucking farts and thinking they're making a goddamn difference. What a fucking travesty. What a scourge of humanity that is. And it's funny and it's ironic that the Roe vs. Wade leak of the memo came while the Met Gala was going on. While these fucking liberal do-gooders who point out fucking racism at every, at a drop of a dime for absolutely nothing, are wearing these goofy fucking outfits and getting together in a smog-infested city, taking private jets and limos to get there, paying tens of thousands of dollars to attend the event, and while they're doing this, Roe v. Wade is getting overturned, and they're and they're basking in fucking pretentiousness. That is why Roe v. Wade got overturned, is because you're hypocrites. Basically, you're fucking you. Why don't you do something important with your life and go plant a fucking tree instead of going to the goddamn Met Gala? And at first, I thought like, what was going on? Like, I heard all these people, this is an awful day for America. I was like, yeah, the Met Gala is pretty bad. but then I fucking, oh, what? Like, that wasn't, like, I didn't even that wouldn't have even registered. I had no idea, like, 'cause, like, that could have, that was even on the table. Really crazy. So, yeah, less Met Galas, more actually doing good. How about that for a good change? How about less calling out racism and more trying to figure out how to get America together without it becoming a socialist or communist shithole, because it's no good for America to completely change to socialism. If you think so, you're fucking stupid. It's not good for America to be some nanny state. Like, maybe they need to figure out what is just right to do. I mean, I think Canada is a little bit too much of a nanny state for me. But I think you know, that America needs some basic health care, and they need to be less, have less of a sense of like, you should fucking, you know, kiss the ground you walk on if you were born in America, because there are some extreme depths of poverty. And, you know, and not having abortion and a child being born into a situation where they have no health care, they are poor, they'll get no breaks in life, they have no route for for anything beyond like a lower middle class life. But like, you think it's a moral victory for them simply to have been born is absolute insanity. A child will suffer depths of poverty that they would not see in any other civilized country at this point. So you got your priorities a little backwards there. If you're going to force mothers to have children past a certain length of time, I think you have the responsibility to make sure that child will grow up and not be in the depths of poverty. Canada, you know, many places in Europe have more of a right to force a mother to have a child past a certain length of a trimester. And the framing of the debate by the right is absolutely stupid, because being born, you're trying to change the definition of what it means to be born. So they say someone said that you have slain an unborn child. No, you can't slay something that has not been born. You're what, minus you know, minus 3 months old and you're slain. It doesn't work that way, because you were born. It's about when you're born. You have a birth date, because that is when you were born, when you exited and came into the world. Now, do I think, you know, women should be getting, you know, abortions after 8 months? Do I think women should be like, you know, proud and go, oh yeah, hey, just got an abortion today. Yeah, you know, oh yeah, I had a couple this year. It's no big deal. Do I think like that is somebody who is spiritually on solid spiritual ground and ethical grounds? No, absolutely not. Do I think you should that women running around bragging about having an abortion is some sort of like a good thing to do, some sort of like advancement like for women? No. And I don't think women should be proud of that. I think that's they should deal with spiritually, but that's their problem to deal with. Let's say, okay, let me flip this. And put it into a perspective that you will understand if you are a guy. So let's say dudes were the ones who, let's say that, so a dude, like, you know, jacks, or, you know, a woman and a dude fuck, and then a dude, like, you know, squirts out a fucking, like, you know, a bunch of eggs, and one of them fertilizes and becomes a kid. Now, shouldn't the guy have agency over his own body? Say there was a way to make sure the egg didn't hatch. Shouldn't a guy have agency over that? Not a woman to be like, no, you have to have that baby that you hatched that came out of your cock. No, I mean, it's about bodily agency and bodily autonomy, and women are the ones who create babies, so they should have that agency over themselves. It's a very simple equation. Would you, like, how fucking much would dudes be freaking out if considering how the vaccines went? If people were trying to tell them that they had to have a baby because they were the ones who were able to bring it into the world, and that the government is deciding what you're doing, what you're able to do with your cock. It's gonna be weird. I don't know if I will be able to go into any red states, because, you know, what will I do when I jack off? And, like, you know, oh my god, what? I don't know if I'm gonna be fucking charged with genocide for tossing this fucking load in the garbage. What do I do with my nut? What can I do with my nut? Somebody, some politician, help me. What do I do with this splooge? Crazy shit happening in the world, man. So let's I want to finish things off with a little story. A little story time. It's story time. So, okay. This is a high school story. Like, okay, so I'm almost graduated. We're almost at graduation. We're in high school. Okay, and so, you know, I was hanging out with some kids. We used to smoke a lot, do a lot of drugs, yada yada yada. Yeah, I'm probably yada yada, or the best part, like in Seinfeld. But okay, so so I and my buddy and a couple of my other buddies had the night off, and so we just get a wise idea, like, we're gonna smoke 2 gigantic blunts, and so how we rolled the blunts is we empty out the guts of a Century Sam, like, shitty little cigar, and we roll them up, and we roll up the weed through there. So so we got it, and my buddy was working at a place. Now, I'm not going to say the name of the place exactly, but so he's just like, oh yeah, I'm going on break. So he's like, hey, and he asked me if I want to link up, and I say, hey, yeah, you want to smoke up a little bit? We're smoking up. So say, yeah, come pick me up. I got some time. So so we go and we pick him up from his work, and and little did he know, this was not your ordinary smoke session. We had 2 massive fucking blunts. So so we smoke up, and you know, we bring him back, and, you know, normally if he's a little late, it wouldn't have been like a big deal, but I guess there was like a small fire, and a fire alarm got pulled, and the fire department, the firefighters came, and so they were there, and they're just like, where is this guy? And so we come back 40, his break was like a half an hour. We came back like 45 minutes, 50 minutes later, and just we smoked in the van. So we smoked 2 fucking blunts in the van. So when we came back, his eyes were just super red. His uniform was like, his buttons were undone. He had the reddest fucking eyes. And he's going back into, I think they thought that he started, that he was the one who pulled the fire alarm, or that the minor fire was caused by him, because he just came back just reeking like pot. And what a fucking awful time for him. He's like, the rest of the shift was brutal. Everybody knew he was stoned, and it just so happened that that there was a fire emergency at that particular time when we were out fucking smoking up, and we brought him back, and it was like, see you later, bro. And he had to go back in after smoking 2 huge blunts reeking like weed, and the fire department there and everybody thinking you're sketchy as fuck. So that was I'm just glad that the person going to work that time was not me. Because man, that must not have been fun. So anyways, I'm gonna put a pin in it, call that a show. I will see y'all again on the next one, ladies and gentlemen. That was the World According to Kyle podcast. Take care, y'all.